In the world of basketball, there are opponents you respect. There are opponents you fear. And then there are opponents you can't stop thinking about. But for Magic Johnson, there was one person, or more precisely, one kind of opponent who forced him to change the way he played, the way he thought, and even the way he understood greatness. Not because of personal hatred, but because they kept finding ways to break him. The title says Magic Johnson truly hated him more than anyone. But the truth is, it wasn't hate. It was an obsession that only legends who've been truly challenged can understand. There are opponents you can study. There are opponents you can overcome. But there are things that don't belong to basketball. November 7th, 1991, Magic Johnson stood in front of the media and said,
The HIV virus that I have attained, I will have to retire from the Lakers today.
At that time, HIV was almost a death sentence, not just for a career, but for a life. No one talked about a comeback. No one talked about second chances. There was only one question. How long? No strategy, no coach, no teammates, only reality. Magic was forced to retire immediately, not because he lost, but because the game had changed. But this was not the end. Just months later, he returned to the 1992 All-Star game and won MVP. That same year, he joined the 1992 Olympic Dream Team, widely considered the greatest basketball team ever assembled. And from that moment on, Magic Johnson was no longer just a basketball player. He became a symbol, a powerful voice in the fight against HIV. This was not a failure. This was a different kind of victory. But if HIV was the thing that forced him to stop, then before that, there were those who made him slow down. None of them ended his career, but they did something even harder. They made Magic not be Magic anymore. Before these names appeared, Magic Johnson was almost an unbreakable system. He wasn't just a player. He was the rhythm of the game, the one who controlled the pace, the one who saw passes no one else could even imagine. In the Showtime era of the Los Angeles Lakers, basketball was no longer just strategy. It became art. But the problem with art is this: it can be studied, it can be copied, and eventually it can be broken. No one beat Magic with pure talent alone. They beat him with something more dangerous: patience and the ability to decode him. And these were the forces that slowly brought a legend back to being human. If Magic represented beauty, then Isaiah Thomas represented reality. Leading the Detroit Pistons in the late 80s, ECI didn't try to outplay Magic with style. He played harder, more physical, more relentless. The Bad Boys Pistons didn't care about highlights. They cared about making you lose control. They attacked physically. They disrupted rhythm. They made every possession 10 times harder. And for the first time in his career, Magic couldn't control the game. He was dragged into a style he never wanted to play. This wasn't Showtime anymore. This was survival. Isaiah didn't need to be better than Magic. He just needed to make Magic stop being himself. And sometimes that's the only way to beat a genius. When Michael Jordan entered the NBA in 1984, Magic Johnson was already the face of the league, a champion, a finals MVP. The engine behind the Showtime dynasty of the Los Angeles Lakers At that moment, the league didn't feel like it needed a new king. But Jordan didn't arrive to fit in. He arrived to replace. Jordan wasn't trying to control the game like Magic. He attacked it relentlessly. Rookie season, 28.2 points per game, 10 scoring titles, NBA record. Career average, 30.1 points per game, the highest in NBA history. But numbers alone don't explain the threat. What made Jordan different was how he bent the game around himself. Defenses didn't stop him. They adjusted to survive him. And for the first time, Magic Johnson was facing a player who didn't just play within the system. He became the system. By 1,991, everything was set for a collision that felt inevitable. The NBA Finals, Chicago Bulls versus Los Angeles Lakers. Magic, 31 years old. Jordan, 28 years old. One represented everything the league had been. The other, everything it was about to become. Game 1, Lakers win. For a moment, it looked like experience might still prevail. But then Jordan adjusted, and when Jordan adjusts, the series ends. The Bulls won 4 straight games. Final result, 4-1. Jordan averaged 31.2 points, 11.4 assists, 6.6 rebounds. He didn't just score. He dissected the Lakers. Every defensive rotation exposed every weakness, targeted. Even Magic, one of the greatest minds the game has ever seen, couldn't slow him down. And maybe that's where the hate comes from. Not anger, not rivalry, but recognition, the realization that no matter how great you are, there is always someone coming who doesn't fear you, doesn't admire you, and doesn't care about your legacy. Michael Jordan didn't just beat Magic Johnson. He took something from him. Control, dominance. The future, there was no dramatic fall, no final moment of collapse, just a quiet, undeniable shift. The league had moved on, and Magic Johnson knew it. Not because he was weak, but because someone had finally arrived who could do everything faster, higher, and without hesitation. That's not hate. That's something deeper. That's the moment a legend realizes he's no longer the standard. If there was one person who never left Magic's mind, it was Larry Bird. Not because Bird was more talented, but because he understood him. From the 1,979 NCAA finals, when Michigan State Spartans defeated Indiana State Sycamores, one of the greatest rivalries in sports history was born. In the NBA, Los Angeles Lakers versus Boston Celtics. Not just two teams, but two philosophies. Magic played with emotion. Bird played with logic. Magic created. Bird calculated. And that contrast turned every matchup into a chess match. They met 3 times in the NBA Finals. Each one a new chapter of history. Bird didn't destroy Magic. He did something worse. He forced Magic to be perfect because one mistake was all Bird needed. Without Larry Bird, Magic Johnson would still be great, but he would never have become the best version of himself. In the end, the one Magic Johnson hated the most had no face, no name, no team. It was time. Time needs no strategy, no talent. It only needs patience. No matter who you are, Magic Johnson, Michael Jordan, Larry Bird, time always wins. It takes away speed. It takes away reflexes. It takes away errors. And eventually, it forces every legend to stop Magic Johnson never truly hated anyone, but he understood one thing. You can't become a legend without people trying to break you. Larry Bird made him better. Michael Jordan showed him his limits. Isaiah Thomas taught him toughness. HIV changed his life. And time made him human. Greatness isn't about never losing. It's about how much you were tested and how you stood through it. Because in the end, trophies will be displayed. Numbers will be remembered. But the cost of dominance is something only legends like Magic Johnson truly understand.